One of the nicest parts about Respondus Lockdown Browser is the fact that it stitches directly into our current Blackboard site. For the teacher to access this lockdown browser, the teacher would start by logging into their regular Blackboard web page. Here they can select whatever class they want to launch out their lockdown quiz. In this case, we'll go ahead and go into Honor COChem. In order to use Lockdown Browser, you will need to first import the Respondus Lockdown tool into your control panel. To do that, we'll need to go over under the Customizations tab and then click Tool Availability. Under Tool Availability, it will bring up all of the different tools available to you. You would then need to scroll down to our Respondus Lockdown Browser option and check the little blue box, allowing us to incorporate that into our Tools menu. We then hit Submit. Now when we go over to our control panel and select our class tools, we will see the option Respondus Lockdown Browser. From this Respondus Lockdown Browser, we can then select any quizzes that have been pre-made in Blackboard and are currently launched on your Blackboard site. Please note that this will not pull any quizzes that you are still working on. It has to have been launched on your Blackboard site before you can see it appear under your Lockdown Browser dashboard. Now, once you're into your dashboard here, you'll see all of our quizzes and exams for our Honor COChem that are currently on the site. And you'll see that over here on the site, it will say whether the Lockdown Browser is required or not required for the students to be able to take the exam. So you'll see that for the majority of our exams here, we have not used the browser, just on our more recent items that a couple of them have been required. The nice part about this program is in order to incorporate it, all you need to do is on a pre-existing exam or quiz, on this little drop-down arrow, we can go ahead and select Modify Settings, and then just select the Require the Lockdown Browser. You can then input a password at this time. If you have a password on an old quiz, if you had it on the quiz before, it will actually override that password. So this is kind of the last step before actually launching that quiz out to your students. So you can then type in whatever password you want, and then you can hit Save and Close. Now, one of the neat pieces about this program is that it will not let students leave a quiz until it's submitted. The only way a student can exit out of the quiz is if they have already submitted their test. Now, sometimes students get called out early. What's nice about this program is it allows an override code. If, for an example, a student needs to leave early from a test or a quiz, they get called out down to the office, whatever it may be, they can actually click on an option, and you as a teacher can override the program and allow that student to leave. Otherwise, they will have to submit their test as is in order to exit the lockdown program. So if you wanted to include a password, you could go ahead and do that here for override should a student need to leave early. Once finished with the settings, merely hit Save and Close, and it will then list that as a required lockdown browser for your students. From this point, you've actually completed everything from the teacher side that needs to be done in order for students to use the Lockdown Browser when taking their quizzes or assessments.